the very first video that I've ever attempted to make. I'm not really a DIY guy, just kind of playing around. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so bear with me. So what we're going to discuss today is the installation of an input seal to the rear axle. This is a diagram and a picture of the part. On the diagram, it's actually picture number 8. And it's a part at the dealership that cost about $25. And the part number is 682-686-79AA. And what we're doing is a 2013 Dodge Journey, and it's an RT model and all-wheel drive. So we're going to crawl underneath the car real quick. Now I'm not going to show you how to do all of this because I only thought about doing this after I had done the entire car already. It took me a little while because I didn't have the right tool, didn't really know what the seal looked like, and though the local dealership did help me quite a bit to figure this out. So here's a picture of the front of the car. As you can see, there's the drive shaft. There are 6 bolts there. And then there's a bracket that holds up the 2-part drive shaft. And then, I'm sorry, some of this is going to be upside down. I guess phone camera, videotaping isn't the best in the world. But anyway. So, this is the rear axle. So the rear axle is actually this part right here. And this part is called, oh crud, I just had a brain cramp. It's called a viscous unit. What the hell that means, I have no idea. The part is actually in between right here. So step 1 is loosen these bolts, and what you need to do is loosen these bolts, not those. There's 3 of these, and they connect to this thing. Reason you have to loosen these 3 bolts first, because otherwise the drive shaft moves if you disconnect the front. So do those 3 bolts first. They are not very tight. I was very surprised how easy they were to come out. I think they have less than 30 foot-pound of torque to them. Anyway, so you do that first. Then there are 6 bolts right here. I'm just verifying what size they are. Good. Hold on a second. Nope. Oh well, I lost my ratchet that I was using just a second ago. Hold on a second. Oh, there it is. It's actually an 8, those are 8mm bolts. And critical that you need to do is mark them. So as you can see, there's a little white mark right there next to one of the bolts. So make sure that you mark them so that they go exactly the same place back, because the drive shaft is balanced. So do the other side first, then do these, and then do this bracket, this hanger. There's only those two, I'm sorry, there's only this one bolt, and there's a second bolt up here, and then there's actually a protective piece of metal that goes on there that has two screws. I haven't replaced those yet. So that's step 3. Then basically just pull on the drive shaft, it'll come out, and then it'll just lay on the ground. Then, after you do that, there are 4 bolts. So those 2, and there's 2 on the top. And then also, it's kind of hard to see, there is one wiring harness that goes, you can just barely see it there, goes to the top of this viscous unit that you have to disconnect. Again, all those bolts were very easy to take out. So once you take off the viscous unit, there is some oil inside that axle, inside here, so you'll have to have a drip pan. And then you'll see inside the axle that seal. Stand by. That seal. It's about 3 inches in diameter. And when I saw that, I thought, how the heck do I get that out of the axle? Because there was no place to put a screwdriver or any kind of pry on either the outside or the inside. So I called the dealership, and they said, you got to drill a hole in it. And that's what that little hole is right there. You have to drill a hole in it. Then you have to get a slide hammer to gently pry it out. So it took over a weekend. Last Thursday, today is Tuesday, I got it yesterday. I got this little pry hammer. So it's not very big. Well, it's a total length of 19 inches, give or take, long. Cost $19.95 on Amazon, or no, on eBay. Got it on eBay. Pretty nifty little thing. So once you got it, it comes with this little screw, or you can use any kind of a screw, and you screw it into that seal, and then just give it a couple of taps, and it comes right out. But then comes the hard part, is putting that seal back into the axle. That was a bitch. You have to have about a 2.5 inch socket to gently tap it in. Obviously, put some of the lubricant on the outside edge of it here and gently tap it in. I didn't have a 2.5 inch socket, so believe it or not, I used the glass. I had a really small, it's a small mason jar, and it fit right over it, and I just used a soft hammer and gently tapped it in. I think it took me a half an hour to figure that all out, and it finally went in. And you just tap it in as far as it goes, and then you basically follow the steps backwards. So when you assemble it again, what you need to do is situate the drive shaft in there first, and then loosely attach the screws, and then you connect it up here and attach the screws. Now, the problem now is, and this is the last part that I'm working on right now, is setting the correct torque specs for each of these bolts. Well, I don't have it, been trying to search for it and can't find it. So I kind of did it a little bit on the over hand tight. I'm not hand tight, but on the ratchet. I didn't, made it snug. And what I plan on doing next time I take it for an oil change, I'm going to ask the dealership to check all of the bolt torques in order to make sure it works out. So don't send me any questions. I got no answers. I just posted this because I saw nothing on YouTube that helped me with this project, so I kind of tried it myself. I figured I can always get a tow truck if I screw it up and take it to the dealership, but cross my fingers. Hope this helped somebody. Take care.